Greetings, Mandrake here. This is part 2 of 5 videos that will cover the secondary objectives of Excavation Site on Legendary with all skulls on except for Bandana. The Excavation Site mission will be covered in its own video. This video coverage you see will be from my Twitch stream, with the only cuts coming from deaths or suicides. Several places have been sped up to shorten time. There was a large portion of time spent in this video on Foxhound Squad. To summarize the objectives that I plan to complete in this video, I plan to collect 3 Spartan Cores, I'll destroy 2 propaganda towers, I'll rescue Foxhound Squad, which you could probably just skip to 5540 to see the first portion of when I first engage the enemies at Foxhound. Some time spent here in the beginning of this video looking for a BR and a Stalker rifle. Didn't have enough Valor points to requisition a BR, and the one place I thought of to get the Stalker was going to be at the excavation site location. There's one to get there on like that little mountaintop where the Spartan Core is. So I was going to make my way there. However, there's a closer place this is after the fact, after making the video, and afterwards I found some of these places. Reason being why this was so hard to find a BR is because with regular Legendary, I'm always going to have the BR. When it comes to LASO, especially like the LASO or LASO without Bandana, most of the enemies that you encounter, the majority of them are going to have shields, like the grunts and stuff like that, so the BR isn't really useful unless you have something to take out their shields. But when I'm in the open world, I'm going to have the Marines do the majority of the killing, and thus I'm just going to be carrying a Arcane Sentinel Beam and a sword just so that I can get my shield back whenever I take damage. And the Sentinel Beam can take off a shield, and then I can stab them, and that takes care of that. And that way I don't have the BR. And the other thing is, it turns out, being that I start excavation site with, I think it's 970 Valor points, all I really needed to do was rescue 1 squad and destroy 1 propaganda tower, and then I could requisition a BR. So as it turns out, after rescuing Foxhound Squad, then I could get a BR. The painful part is, see in the upper left-hand corner, you see that little cave. In that cave is a Mjolnir locker protected by a small handful of enemies. One of them is a Juggle sniper with a Stalker rifle. And secondly, permanently placed in there is a BR. Didn't realize that until much later on another playthrough. So it kind of hurts to know that that was in there.
Let's get rolling.
So really, just a lot of time spent here in the beginning. It's just really too much time spent. So if you want, you can always just skip ahead, or you can skip around to see the other objectives that are done before getting to Foxhound.
Firing.
It's not particularly eventful, not particularly fun, no tricks, no really interesting stuff. Kind of skip, if you want, you can skip chapters and just skip ahead to where I can rescue Foxhound Squad. But this is just not leaving anything out, not cutting anything out, so to say. Just there may be some moments I'll fast forward through and that kind of thing.
Everyone still got their limbs? We 100% on limbs?
I'm going to make my way to the excavation site because I know where to find a Stalker rifle. It's up here on top of the mountain where the Spartan Core is. The silly thing is, I get up here, I get the Stalker rifle, and I forget about the Spartan Core, and I leave it behind, and recognize it, realize it, turn back around, come back to get it.
What are the Banished doing here?
They are doing exactly what they've been doing since they got here. Scavenging. Tearing everything apart to fuel this war.
How could they? They're ruining this place, and for what?
To win.
That already happened.
I also realized that there's a couple BRs up here, but these are the I can't remember what you call them. They're the
We need this area secured.
variant, the other variant BR, and I decide not to mess with getting this because
Need backup?
even though it's stronger, it delivers more power in its firing, in each shot. Its scope is not as good, and I will definitely need something with a good scope, or the original BR scope is definitely better than the scope of that BR.
Made it to the gun. Buckle up. Exiting vehicle.
Yeah, I kicked him out because my the guy I gave the Marine I gave the Sentinel beam to, I want in the gun. So let's go.
Gunner here.
Like I said, I'm going to drive off and then realize that I need to get that Spartan Core, and I'll eventually turn back around and go get it. And at the same time, while I'm in the area, I'll decide to go ahead and get the other Spartan Core that's in the site.
Disembarking. I'm on the trigger. Let's go.
Looks like I'm needing 50 Valor points, which would equate to... well, you get 10 points for a propaganda tower, 30 points for a rescuing the squad.
That's a friendly you just hit, stupid.
So there was zero plan to rescue any other squads nearby, and I wasn't going to go try and round up or take out 5 propaganda towers. So being I was going to go Foxhound squad anyway, and I felt like it was going to be easy enough to find a BR laying around. I still just driving around trying to find one.
I'm in.
But we'll be finding that VR real soon. I think once I leave the site,
Nice.
just driving around. I think there's a propaganda tower or something like that, or just stuff along the side of the road or road patrol. I do find one, and it's coming up soon. One other thought is I'm just now thinking of this while I'm recording this is on that hill that overlooks the site. There's 2 Marines up there. There's a possibility one of those Marines may have a BR on. This Marine here has the variant BR, the Breacher BR.
Yeah, so, this is gonna be bad, isn't it?
Saw that dead Marine on the ground, expecting to find something else through the scan.
Show me what you got, freaks! Nice!
This will be Propaganda Tower 3 of 8 once I destroy it.
I lost visual. Pummel the crap out of them, Chief.
You do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And we love
I hear you.
humans, just like fruits love eating them and killing them.
That's right. Opening fire!
Chief, we're in range of Captain Balcarus, a high-ranking brood officer. How about we ruin his day?
I'll make this quick. Come on out, you slab. One less headache. Outstanding.
Yeah, what's that on that rock over there? Finally. And I kind of realized I can just fast travel. I've got the BR, I got the Stalker. I probably need to get ammo for the BR, but I can get... There's a kinetic ammo dispenser at Delta. So I'm just going to fast travel there and fill it up, and the Stalker rifle should be full. Didn't use it. It was on a rack, so it should be 100%.
Guns, we got vehicles. What the hell we waiting for? Let's get out there.
So now it's to make that journey to Foxhound Squad. It's a long climb. One of the things to do here is just avoid any contacts, avoid any skirmishes, and just get up there with full ammo. Now, one of the things I ended up doing along the way, and there was a lot of thinking on this, because I had been through this before and realized I'm going to need more weapons, because pretty much a lot of the enemies for this squad, there's a lot of phantom drops, lots of grunts, lots of brute majors, there's a few elites. Pretty much all those guys have shields and are hard to break, which means I need some plasma weapons like a plasma pistol, maybe a pulse carbine, and really just kind of anything that can help out with. So in the journey, in a previous run, I had just kind of along this way and found a shock rifle, and ammo dispenser here or there for shock and plasma, kinetic. And then I came across an area when going to one of the Mjolnir lockers that has a sniper rifle, just a regular sniper rifle. I'm gonna pick him off because his shield is down. And there's gonna be another skirmisher, and then there's gonna be one of these brute snipers off to my right, and he's gonna pick me off. He already got a shot on me. And at this point, I'm kind of like, I'm going to need to get my shield back, so I'm going to run up and punch him. And he sticks me. Oh my god, I didn't have the fucking grapple out. And yeah, and I didn't have the... Jesus. I'm going to just shoot off a threat sensor instead of using the grapple, because I didn't have it selected. So I'll be doing this again. There's just these 4 enemies. I will take out the elite first. Didn't mean to use the Stalker. I'm surprised he didn't hear the shot, and this brute didn't hear the shot. Kind of stumbled there on those rocks, keeping me from getting to him.
Violate your cause.
So he drops a Stalker, a shock rifle. And when these are dropped, they've got a lot of ammo in them. So it's got a good deal of ammo in it. So as I was saying, the thinking on this was to start carrying a bunch of weapons, and then when I get to the side of the mountain, I realize, how am I going to carry these weapons up the mountain? And so I spent a lot of time on a previous run, just exploration, And I found a way, or at least what would have been in theory a path and a way of getting them up the mountain, and just did some very minor, brief tests, and to me it seemed plausible to do it. But at the same time, I also felt like it was necessary to have to carry more than just what I can carry with what I got on me, that I would need to take more than just the 2 weapons I'm carrying. I was going to need the shock. I was going to really kind of take a full, or at least get a sniper rifle, because I'd found a where you can go to this Major locker. There's a sniper rifle there. It's going to have 4 shots in it. But nearby to there, I think just either to the south or to the west, there was just an area just in exploration that I found where 2 sniper rifles were laying around, and I was like, well, hey, that'll give me 12 rounds, a full sniper. I mean, it's not even really full, but with plenty of sniper rounds, hey, I can do with that. So I would take that, and I think I came across a place where there was a plasma pistol and a shock rifle, and I think even another Stalker rifle. And so I realized, well, I'm going to just try and carry all this stuff. It's very time consuming. This is long. This is boring. Moving a lot of weapons and trying to get them up the mountain. It just not cooperative. But I did eventually find a way. It took me some 30-40 minutes to do it. And I think I'm just going to end up fast forwarding to that point. Once I get the weapons to the mountainside where I'm going to carry them up, I'll just do a fast forward and get through it. Here in this area, I found these guys because there's a kinetic ammo dispenser there. There's a plasma ammo dispenser. I'll be able to shoot and kill these guys, and I'll be able to refill, load up my weapons, and get them to full, and then take their stuff with me, which again will take some time to move along a bunch of weapons a long way. I think my shield is good, and being that my shield I think is good, I decided to just ground pound these guys so I don't have to use ammo, and plus it's easier on the kill to just do the ground pound and not use ammo. And this rack over here has a Stalker, if not 2. I think I'll find out here in a moment. Yeah, and he's gone. Yeah, so there's 2 Stalkers in this rack. There's also a skewer. Skewer's gonna have 4 shots in it. But I don't bother with the skewer. I don't take it. But I do take the second Stalker. The area I'm looking at, where I was looking off to the left, where those trees were, that's where there's supposed to be 2 sniper rifles. And where I just did the scan and I'm looking up at the waypoint that was set, that's the Major locker, and that's where there is a sniper rifle for sure. Then as it turns out in this run, and I was not expecting it to be kind of a random thing, but that site I was talking about that I was just looking at that has the 2 sniper rifles is random, and it may not spawn them. It may not be there. It may not be set up for this. The rifles may not be there. The enemies may not be there. And it was a huge disappointment, because going through all this mess to come up here and collect them and do all this stuff, it wasn't there. And then at that point I decided I'm not even going to mess with the sniper rifle. I think I do pick it up and carry it along, but being it only has 4 shots in it, it wasn't really worth just for all the hassle to take something with just 4 shots. I'll be making my way down to this trail down here. I think there's some enemies down here, but I'm going to keep looking over in that area, which is where the snipers are, but they're not there. And I also kind of realize I don't think they're there, or it doesn't turn out there, because there's supposed to be some enemies here. And being the enemies are not here, this area is not equipped, set up, or it's just not set up for what was supposed to be here. Yeah, that's the last thing I need, is for Phantom to drop off more enemies where I don't want to use any ammo that I have. I'm also coming down the hill because this trail here leads to where I'm trying to go along the mountainside to carry the weapons up, which was the path. So here come some enemies and drop pods. I'm just gonna ground pound them. And it just so happened to work out. The ground pound worked out fine. There's times where it doesn't. Not really sure the rhyme or reason. There seems to be inconsistencies. I haven't really figured it out, because it's what looked and appeared that I grappled the enemy and got the ground pound on them. There's times I can grapple the enemy and hit them and it not even take the shield out. And it doesn't seem like it does much of anything. And there's times where I've grappled at their feet, but not grappled their feet, just grappled the ground, do the ground pound and hit, and then they go flying. And there's times I might do the same thing, only maybe a couple inches different where it grapples. And like I said, it just does nothing. I might it didn't even take the shields out. Very inconsistent. But those 3, that worked out just fine. That was what I needed. So looking off to the right there is where I need to go. It almost looks like kind of a cave. It's kind of an overhang. There's going to be some enemies set up along the way there. Not too difficult, not a big deal. But this is the route I need to go to get the weapons up the mountain. Because there needs to be areas where I can grapple and once I grapple them up, the weapons up to me, that there's like some ground I can set them on, and they can be dropped and stuff like that. Where a lot of this mountain is just very, very steep, very lengthy, steep areas. Like I said, I found an area that where it's plausible and it worked. It turns out that it did work. It just took a long time to do, and it's something I'll never do again. It doesn't need to happen. I don't need to do it. Because as it turns out, after doing this and just being really disappointed with, it didn't seem like it was really necessary. I carried all these weapons. I did a mission replay on this from just another account of just rescuing Foxhound Squad, LASO without Bandana, and just carrying the BR and a Stalker, both of them full, and just trying to rescue the squad. Really, there's really not much rescuing because they're all gonna die. Yeah, and they really do all kind of die. I think the very last one left alive, because you have catch and they throw nades rather than shoot their weapons. The last one left alive will be facing off against all the enemies, and by throwing their own nade, their own nade will blow them out of the range and blow them away, and that way there's just no Marines left, but the whole area is still active. You can still kill all the enemies. Once all the enemies are killed, then you should get credit for mission complete for rescuing the squad. And so that's really just what I'm doing, is I'm just gonna, and that's what I did on the mission replay, is just took the 2 weapons, went up there, and just killed off all the enemies. Now I get through this part, try and take him out. So I got my shield back, and then ground pounded him into orbit. Now, sure, I'll recommend. It's a difficult mission. It's quite a challenge. I think it's a very interesting challenge. On Legendary, all skulls on except for Bandana, and do a mission replay of Foxhound Squad. Get up there, just pick 2 weapons, go up there, and just kill off all the enemies. Do so without without using your drop wall, without using the thruster. You'll probably have that is if you're further along in a mission. Usually finish the fight, you can kind of go back and do it. But anytime after excavation site, if you get that done. Oh yeah, and then I come across this hammer. The hammer is going to be very interesting because you hammer an enemy, you can get your shield back. And so that's why I decided to carry this along. And I'm getting closer to the area where I'm going to go up the mountain with the weapons. Just doing a scan to see what's around here. At some point I've come across a plasma pistol. I thought I saw one there on one of those crates. I think there might even be 2 of them. They would be 50% each, and then just kind of merge them together to 100. I was pretty sure I took along and took a 100% plasma pistol. Really? Grappling fucking weapons off the ground. Right. Right at it. Enemy. The hammer will come in handy because, like I said, there's lots of brutes. And the hammer seemed to work fine on just like a one swing kill with launching some brutes. And there I saw the plasma pistol, so I missed the point of grabbing the plasma pistol. Guess I wasn't paying attention. So plasma pistol in this stockpile that I'm moving. I have arrived at the area where I will be climbing up the mountain and grappling the weapons and carrying them with me. Yeah, because this area is too steep. Can't do it. Can't do it here. So this spot here is the place to do it, and is painful, is arduous, is frustrating, and I'll never do it again. Don't need to, because it can be done with just the weapons I carry. Actually kind of saw it there that time when I went to grapple the sniper rifle. The grapple went straight for it, and then just before getting to it, it dips and then took a nosedive into the ground to avoid grappling the ground. So I finally reached the point where I'm at the fast forward and it's gonna speed through this part. This is painful, because there's many times I'm getting up on the ledge, getting up to the point to where I'm going to grapple and pull up my weapons, and then they fall, and they fall all the way down to the very bottom of the mountain. Over and over and over again. Me, I just don't give up. There are times where I felt like I was going to give up and just like, I'm not doing this, but I was determined. I was going to overcome, I was going to persevere, I was going to get this done, I was going to accomplish it. So it was a challenge. It was quite the challenge, and I was able to do it, but it was just painful. As far as the time it took, wasn't worth it, the time, for the time it took to do it. And in the end, it just wasn't necessary. I don't even know if it's worth even talking about the technique or method that I used, or at least figured out how to get it done. It took time. It really took time to kind of get it figured out, and not to say perfect it, but at least finding a plausible way of getting it done, with the inconsistencies. And the thing is, even having to fight the game with trying to grapple the weapon to even begin with whatever was done. I get up to this little bitty ledge here, and I'd have to grapple and then turn to my left for it to fall on that ledge, and it just over and over and over wouldn't do it, but I knew it could be done. Because I think I tested it and got it at least to work once, because once I get a weapon up to that little ledge, the next step was, and that was the hardest part. The next ledge, it was difficult, the next place to take it to, but it was more attainable than this portion. Getting to here, getting up to this little ledge, making sure there was enough ledge for the weapon to rest on was just, it was aggravating, it was difficult. It could be done. I knew it could be done. It could happen. It was just trying to find the technique to do it. And it turns out that if I crouched and then turned, I'd get the weapon to rest on the ledge. And then from there I can get it up to another ledge. So the first step was just to get it to this ledge, or at least these part of the rocks, because that was within the range of the grapple, to where I could get it to the next area. Here I think I decided I'm just going to bring up another weapon or two, try out something else. there was lots of frustrations trying to juggle the weapons up to the point to where then I'd have to grapple them up. Just lots of frustrations. And just became just so incensed with, you grapple it up and then it would fall and go all the way down to the very bottom. It's just becoming too much. And here I managed to finally get one weapon up onto the ledge. Finally. And so I worked my way over to this next ledge and just grapple it over to here. And at this point, hey, I'm in good shape. From up here, I can grapple the stuff all the way up, and then this plasma pistol goes all the way down. And I needed to have one more weapon so I could juggle up. And see, it was just grapple to there, and then just up another segment. So I had made it, it had done, but the plasma pistol just rolled away. So it was, there was my proof that it's plausible, it can be done. And so I continued, knowing that, hey, it could be done. I just need to find the technique. I need to find the right way of doing it.
Another squad's calling for help, Chief. We can't leave them hanging.
Come on! Purple on the ground. I'm looking at the fucking weapon. Grapple the weapon. I'm finally where I can see enemies, and I can finally engage.
I'll teach you to hide from me.
I think even at this point, there's no fighting going on, so all the Marines are gone.
Where are you, tiny creature? Destroy it! Here!
And I just took damage from that nade.
More of them, Chief.
Yeah, you do not get your shield back from doing that ground pound. Doesn't count as a melee. Oh, come on! So it's going to be a bit of a slow play.
more humans on my ring.
That's funny. Face gone,
Nothing here.
head gone.
Stay away.
Your death comes soon. Be alert. Battle awaits us.
Here, I'm using the hammer. It's got a slow swing, a slow reload, or whatever.
Target is here.
Spartan, a battle for the ages. I'm searching him out. Come back here, human.
Here I'm looking to just kind of flank these guys and come at them sideways. I think I realize I don't have the BR on me. I worked my way down. There's a couple elites and a grunt. There might be a mule. But I think it's just, I guess it's just these three that remain. Sneaking up on these guys and yep, so there is a mule out of the range of the I guess he was out of the range of the threat sensor.
Your shoots are
And that's the last one. So now it turns out that, being that there's no Marines around, and it's possible that the reason why it's not showing complete is there was probably one enemy that was blasted away from a nade. And see, this is what I mean. So look, all these weapons I brought up, and I used the plasma pistol only a few times, and I went through the Stalker rifle. I probably went through a full Stalker. But there's a couple of 2 or 3 Stalker rifles around here because of the snipers, because of the Juggle snipers. So I don't even think I used the shock rifle at all. Did use the hammer. It was helpful, but I think I could have just done a ground pound on these guys. So, you know, as it turns out, I didn't need to bring all this stuff. It was nice to have as good, you know, catch for reloading. But turns out it can be done without bringing all these weapons up here. So as I was saying about one of the Marines, probably, you know, in throwing the nades, probably blew one of the enemies away, and he's probably still alive and counting towards this being completed. So what you do is, I'm about to do it. When I start heading down the mountain, I'll at least talk about it. Because I think I'm still just trying to collect ammo, because if I go out of range, I'm a little concerned that if all this resets and I have to do it again, I've accepted the point that sure, I'll do it again, given that what weapons I brought up here will still be here. And that's just a an assumption that, yeah, if it resets and you put these weapons here and they're still here, great. If they're not still here, then I'm just going to blow up and just probably come back and do it again another time or something. So I'm still looking for weapons and looking for stuff, but I think this is the point where I decide I'm going to head down. What I'm really just trying to do is get out of the range of the mission for at least this mission. And I'll look in the upper left-hand corner, and when you see one of the notifications for continuing the primary mission, this is where I stop. And I'll wait. And you don't have to wait too long, but I wait.
UNSC lost so many on this
And then
raid,
that's what I'm
but
waiting
now that
for.
you're
I'm
back,
waiting
you've got a
for
fighting chance at survival.
that it's been completed. And now it's done. So I work my way back to the area. I see now the smoke is coming up. I don't know if it started over or if it reset or whatever. But I work my way back over here and I'll find a Marine. I guess a Marine was spawned in here or something. But however it was done. And there's a Marine. Jump down and go. Ooh.
Let's move, Marines.
So I'm not sure what I'm looking around for, what I'm looking to do, because the weapons I want to take with me will be the BR and the Stalker. And I think even then, when I get back to a fob, I think I may end up going with something else. And he's not going to be able to follow me. And I'm not going to mess with the propaganda tower that's kind of on the way back. I save that for whenever I go to Thunder Squad. I'll rescue Thunder Squad and I'll get that kind of hidden propaganda tower. It's on the slope, or the kind of the midway, near the bottom midway portion of this mountain on the backside. What would be like the northern side. And I'll get to that when I get to Thunder Squad. So at this point, I'm just going to do a fast travel, and I'll continue and just get just a couple more things done here.
We got your back, sir. You go on ahead, Chief.
So what I'm going to do here is get... There's really just two more things I'm going to accomplish here on this, for this stream. Is I'm going to run over where I just marked it. I'm going to get that Spartan Core over there. I'm just going to go over there on foot. I feel like it was easy enough to go over there, get it, and come running back. But the game isn't going to make it that easy. You go over here, and once you open the Spartan Core, or within, at some point where there's a trigger line or something you cross, or if it's opening it, then a Phantom just drops right on top of you and drops some Brute Majors and a Jetpack Brute Major. And I don't know why it seemed difficult, but I kept getting killed. I kept having some difficulties with it. Yeah, so I crossed a line, and here comes the Phantom. And I'll just kind of stay in cover here. And I've got a full shield! And so one or two of the Marines followed me. And so these guys are distracted with the Marines. Now looking for that grunt so I can get my shield back, and these guys mess it up. Assholes! Yeah, throwing their nades instead of shooting, thanks to the catch skull. With the fucking Phantoms, what's going on? Yeah, and as I mentioned, because of Courier Squad And I guess Bluebell Squad, there's constant phantoms that are involved in those squads and are always flying over, and I think you're also near Redoubt of Sundering, and they carry on board a bunch of Marine prisoners or whatever. So it's just there's those three things going on, just constant phantoms always going over it. It's just annoying. So, but that'll get taken care of in the next part. On the next stream, I'll be clearing out this area. So there's one more thing I'm going to do before signing off on this stream. I'm going to go take care of a propaganda tower. So at this point, I'm at 5 of 14 on the Spartan Cores. Right now I'm at 3 of 18 on propaganda towers. I'm gonna get set up to go over and do that. It's over by, apparently I think I've already gotten, no, I don't have Bluebell Squad done. There's Courier Squad and then there's Redoubt of Sundering, and all three of those have phantoms involved, which makes it just real annoying in this area. So, I think, and I just missed looking at the map there, I was looking away. I think if I go get that propaganda tower, I'll be able to requisition a BR. I think that was the thinking. So I'm getting the reticle in place to where the propaganda tower is, and I'm just going to run over and get that. You can hear the firefight from Bluebell Squad. Nearing the end here of this stream, which means nearing the end of this segment, the last part of this part 2 of 5. I'm just bringing up the map just to kind of look and see what's in front of me and get an idea and a plan for the next steps for part 3. And for those that stuck around to the end of this segment, the end of this video here, well, great. You made it through. You got to see all that mess. I can understand if you just skipped to the end and didn't want to sit through all the moving the stockpile and killing off Foxhound Squad and taking way too long doing that. So thanks for joining me for part 2 of 5. Please join me for part 3 of 5 of the side missions or secondary objectives of Excavation Site.